Today, my friends, we are here to break down the Bowitch attack strategy at Town Hall 11. This video is going to be focusing in on base identification, how to use this strategy, as well as which siege to bring between the wall wrecker and the siege barrack. So that's right, guys, we are going to be going over the Bowitch attack strategy. So this strategy is definitely very strong still, and I actually haven't seen it all too recently until now. So it has definitely been a good surprise for me, but this strategy still can work very well. You'll see with the army composition is we are bringing golems, especially with double multis. If you're seeing single infernos, I would highly recommend you using giants instead, because giants will be able to, because you have multiple of them, it's the single inferno is going to be distracted on each individual giant instead of just two golems or two golemites. So that's going to be the kind of thing. So if you see multi-infernos, make sure that you're using golems. And if you see giant, or if you see singles, then you're going to use giants. Sorry, I got mixed up in my words there. But other than that, that is going to be the main thing in terms of dealing with the two different types of infernos. But on top of this, what about siege machines? So you see that there is the siege machine of a siege barrack. So I know a lot of you guys, or some of you guys, don't really have access to it, and you guys will probably ask me in the comments, what can I use without it? Well, I would highly suggest you guys actually bring in a wall wrecker. Now, this is going to depend on the base. So this means that if you're hitting a base like this and you don't have access to siege barracks, then I would highly recommend that you probably not actually use this strategy, because you either need to have really good pathing with your wall wrecker, or you need to have a siege barrack. So that's going to be the two main things. You could probably use a Yeti bomb with this, especially since you are just using the 4 quakes and the jump. It really doesn't really matter, so it might be a good idea to bring Yeti bomb. If you guys want to try that out, let me know on Discord, and if you guys did a 3-star with it, then I would love to record it and at least show it in a video. Would definitely be very cool. Now, on top of this, what we want to make sure that we're doing is base identification. So the idea when you're using a jump and quad quake with a slammer is that what you're going to be, or not slammer, the siege barrack, you're looking for jump values. So can you get across with one jump spell? This is going to be in terms of my what I'm able to draw in terms of the jump spell range, which got the attacker a lot of really good value, and then a quad quake right here because you're opening up the rest of the base. That is what's going to help you. If you can drive through the base, you can easily get a 3-star. So this is a great example of a base that can be completely devastated by this strategy, just because you're basically hammering through the base. Very simple. So let's play this for you guys to hopefully get an understanding. So you'll see that we're using 2 super goblins. Why is this? Super goblins are great for funneling resource buildings, more specifically collectors. This can allow us to actually keep a good chunk of our witches that are right there in the main portion going into the jump with the golems to actually take that jump and go in. We have a couple witches on the side, and that's all fine. Even if some of the bowlers do wind up going out, that's still completely fine. So you'll see from here is that we're dealing with a baby dragon and ice golem CC in this replay. This is still a super easy CC, especially when we have the heroes going in along with the golems, and we even have a P.E.K.K.A. So it's really going to help us clear through the CC, and we will be able to get through it very nicely. Now, what about the Grand Warden ability? I'm sorry, I had to pause it again. The Warden you should pop the Warden's ability. Realistically, when you're about in the core of the base, you need to make sure that you are protecting all your bowlers and witches, especially through splash damage like the eagle, and then you also need to make sure that you are popping it when you're dealing with the CC if you know that you're going to be taking a lot of damage from it. So for instance, if you're driving everything in, Since you really want to try and make sure that the bowlers are staying focused on getting to the base, you would use a poison, a rage, and then you would pop the Warren ability to make sure that you are keeping everything alive in the base, not using heal or anything. But you'll notice that we do have a heal. Now, this can either be for one of two things: the actual Bowitch, like you see right here, or the Hog Riders from the Siege Barrack. So you'll see right there we have Hogs. It's really simple. So you'll see as we're just driving through the base, you want to make sure that you are using the heal spell on top of either your Bowitch or your Hogs, just depending on where you place your Siege Barrack. Most of the time it's going to be behind your entire attack. So you will be using the heal with your Bowitch. But with all of that, you guys get the understanding. Take a look just at this section here while the replay continues. Just look at how there was a jump right here over this building, and then the quad quake opened up all of that. That is impressive, and that really goes to show that this strategy is still a very strong one. So if you are looking for a strategy that can really wreck bases pretty quickly, then this is going to definitely be your strategy. So let's move on into another example where we're going to continue to break down this strategy. So we've got here for you guys another example using this, and the big thing, the big picture of this strategy is, again, you want to make sure that you are looking at the correct area. Now, all of these sadly will have the siege barracks, so I'm sorry I couldn't show you guys any with the wall wrecker, but I want to still explain that a little bit before we actually jump into this. So with the wall wrecker, you're trying to actually look for easy pathing with the town hall. With the town hall being centered, it's going to be a lot easier. So if you're looking for something that can really wreck at 11v11 with the wall wrecker, then you want to try and make sure that you're trying to hit those anti-2s, or you're having easy pathing with your wall wrecker against those anti-3s. On top of this, you also want to make sure, though, that you are allowing yourself to use those golems, to use everything to make sure that you are creating a funnel. That way you're going to easily be able to enter into the base, and you're also going to allow yourself to use that heal spell to protect a lot of your bowlers and witches, since they do benefit from using that heal spell. So with that being said, it's a really simple strategy, like I said. Now you'll see in this example is that when you're using this sort of version, you'll see that we are going to be using the quad quake first. Why is that? Quad quake opens up a lot more compartments. There are big compartments here and here, which definitely open the base up to us. So what this means is if we go ahead and do that, then we can actually use a jump right about here, and this is going to allow ourselves to really actually get a lot more value. So we're basically going through the entire base. We're just very similar to the first one. Definitely, you want to make sure though that you're creating a funnel like you see right here. We're using the king on one side with a couple witches, and then a couple witches on the other side. We will have some bowlers that go onto the outside, like always. But you'll see from here is that we're dealing with the same type of CC, baby dragon, ice golem, but again, you'll see that when we're dealing with that CC, we're using the Warden ability. That way, we're able to get through it without having to burn that heal spell. So now when we're in the core, we'll use that heal, make sure that all the bowlers and the witches get back to full health, and then we're able to really easily wreck through the base thanks to the max Hog Riders that you may have. So that kind of gives you guys a really solid look into using this, because it is not that bad. It's really easy to use, and again, I wanted to try and make sure that I'm breaking this down. The base identification is very simple. You know, you're mostly looking for a flat side, or if you're using the siege barrack in this case, you're looking for an area where you can either jump first and then quake, or you can quake and then jump. So just like you saw right here. So that is going to be the big thing that you need to understand with this. Other than that, it is extremely easy to use, and it really takes little to no effort. So we've got one last example for you guys. We're going to be looking at another example, but this just goes to show that it is definitely something that I would recommend you guys be trying out in FCs and stuff. So let's go ahead and move on into our final example using Bowitch. So that's right, guys, we are looking at our final example, and again, we're using the siege barrack, of course, but what I want you guys to take away from just watching this replay as I explain some of the tips that I've kind of explained throughout the entire video. So just to give you guys a little bit of a summary there, but the idea though of this attack is, remember that you're using the quad, quake, and jump, or basically how the order is. It really depends on the base. So if you can get value from a quad quake, then that opens the rest of the base up to a jump. If you are able to jump and then quad quake, so if that jump is able to net you more value than the quad quake can at the start, then you can definitely do it vice versa. Just remember though, when you're using the wall wrecker, so on this base here, you would probably place the wall wrecker here and you would go straight into here with that wrecker. So you really wouldn't need the, you wouldn't need the quad quake or the jump, but maybe the jump would actually be pretty useful to bring. So I would recommend it, but then you would have 2 extra spell slots for something else, like a free spell or something like that. So you definitely kind of gives you some ideas on what you can do if you're going to use the wall wrecker. But remember, this is using the siege barrack, so you can actually hit from the town hall or from the town hall side. So the main thing, remember, is that you're using a couple bowlers and golems to sort of help you create the funnel. Also remember that you're going to be using the giants if you are seeing single infernos. So just remember that. But you'll see from here, while quad quake goes down. Quad quake is always going to be an extremely valuable spell. So it's super good to bring. And you can see from here is that we're opening up the rest of the base. Then when we're dealing with a CC like a baby dragon or, a baby dragon, E-drag, baby dragon, ice golem, and witch or Valkyrie, they're always going to be really easy to counter if we're using we're using the warden ability, and 2, we're using the heal to make sure that everything's healed up, and we're also using the poison to kill it off. So with all of that, it kind of gives you guys that understanding of really using this strategy. So you'll see from this example is that you get a lot more value when you are able to really use, when you're able to utilize everything. That includes the jump spell and the quad quake. It can really net you a lot of value that, you guys may not have thought of before, but it's still a great way to 3-star. So as far as I can say with the strategy, and hopefully I stayed on topic with you guys, and hopefully I didn't lose you guys as well, the whole idea is to make sure base identification is right. Hopefully base identification works pretty solid in this video. I'm not too sure. Again, I don't use Bowitch and I don't see it a lot, so it's not really a strategy I know from the back of my head, but it's definitely a great strategy. I can definitely say that. I do remember when it was being used alongside a Queen Walk, so, back before Town Hall 12, but it's still a great sort of strategy to sort of use and to try out. So let me know if you guys have any success with it. Also, feel free to go ahead and join any of the clans I cover within the description. Though there's all of the clan Discord servers, so feel free to go ahead and join any of them. Another thing, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to me, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything, and to join the Corrupt fam, and don't forget to leave a like on the video as well. I would really appreciate that. Let me know in the comments below on what you guys may want to see next. I will definitely take the bigger majority, but also I want to see if you guys did sort of, learn something from this video. Remember to share it with your clanmates if they want to become better attackers with certain strategies. This is definitely going to be, well, one of the channels for them. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and also on Twitch and Madcat. All 4 links are in the description. Definitely check those out. If you guys want to support me even further, feel free to go ahead and purchase any merchandise or subscribe to me over on Twitch, or even go ahead and join the channel as a channel member. But with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.